kind of dilly-dallying, that's the government. Any kind of pussyfooting, that's the government. Any kind of act that's designed to delay or deprive you and me right now of getting full rights, that's the government that's responsible.
We call an individual into existence, and when that individual comes, I make no apologies for what I'm about to say.
Rough, rugged and real, you're on standstill to obey your case, so let the man build. Words of rapture that you have to capture, and I just slapped ya with a handful of literature. This dope, deaf, fresh, hype, choice, smooth and raw. Rappers I replace, rub out and erase. Competition, you must be on freebase, smoking or joking, bound to be broken. Now get your damn hands off the mic that I'm choking. Cause I got a stranglehold. You're still cold on parole for the road you stole. Rhymes that you yell out, but you did sell out. Crossed over, lost over here, now get the hell out. I'm not a pop star, rock and roller, I'm a rebel, blessed, able to hold a mic like a hammer and drop grammar, treat a rapper like a wrestler and body slam them. Those who dispute get treated just like a prostitute. They get the boot and blade like a flute, so just play mute. Don't even whisper, open your mouth to speak and I'ma dish your ragtag and dog. Put you in the morgue because you're petty, confetti and not ready to rock steady. In other words, you're half-stepping, tiptoeing, get going. Because my weapon is not a 9, a Uzi or a shotgun. But when it come to hype rhymes, I got one. Just like the album is still the same. Long live the cane, ain't a damn thing changed. I still get ill and kill at will and build the skill to fill your grill. So don't tell me you're real. We sample beats, you sue and try to fight us. Man, you still be home with arthritis. If we didn't revive and bring back alive old beats that we appreciated, you wouldn't survive. You'd be another memory to us. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. So understand the way that I live, that's positive. And the message I got to give is a benefit for you and me. I'm talking about P-E-A-C-E, the chosen one that has turned the new leaf. I got gold teeth and they don't chew beef. No pork on my fork, strictly fish on my dish. The cane fallen victim, sucker you wish. I flow like water, slaughter, put you out of order. Floored ya. Rappers are ragging and tagging and snagging and bragging to be on the bandwagon, but I'm the last dragon with the knack to attract the pack. So just get back. I'm young, gifted, and black.
Yes. Once again, we want to welcome everybody to another edition of Black Poet Matters. This is session 8.3. Once again, this is as we do our Black History Month special. Normally, we do this every month, but for Black History Month, we've been doing this every week. So once again, we do thank everybody and appreciate everybody for tuning in and keeping it locked. So once again, we definitely have another great session for everybody this evening that is watching. So just make sure you share and invite as well. So once again, to let everybody know that Black Poet Matters is a celebration and a showcase of the Black poetic voice from poets of the African Diaspora who are conscious and brilliant. It is also a celebration of Black music where our souls meet song, sound, and rhythms. And this evening, we have 2 women and 2 men. They are Black Poets Edition, the truth of their matters, creating a poetic soundtrack for the times. So once again, that's what the Black Poet Matters series is about. So once again, we're going to get right into it. Just want to welcome everybody that's watching, whether you're watching on YouTube or you are watching on our Facebook page. Just make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also on the Facebook, if you're watching, just hit the like as well. So like our page, and also for both, just hit that bell for the notifications, so whenever we go live, you would also receive the information of when that's going to happen. So once again, we just thank everybody for tuning in this evening. So once again, we're going to our weekly session for Black History Month, in honor of Black History Month. And also, as we've been doing each week, we're also honoring the birthdays, and in this case today, the assassination of one. But We're going to be talking about, of course, or mentioning in honor of Malcolm X, who was assassinated on this day, and just coincidentally, we'll probably get into that throughout the show. There's been a new case based on some new information about his assassination. So there's actually charges that may be filed against the NYPD. That information actually came out yesterday. There's been some new information that came out, so right on time for that assassination day, but of course not in time for, of course, the family and everybody whose life he impacted. Also, we're gonna honor the memory of John Lewis, who was born this day. We know that last year he passed away in July, but this is in honor of his birthday today, February 21st. Politician, civil rights leader, for decades, fighting the cause of Black people. And also today is also honoring the birth of Mugabe as well. So we're going to be getting into more of that throughout the show. On the poets themselves might mention one or all three by name. So we're going to get into our first poet of the evening. Going to introduce him at this time. He goes by the name of LaVan Robinson. He's a poet and a writer from Philadelphia, but now resides in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He is a 13-year veteran of the military and has been writing for over 40 years and has published 3 books. And to top it off, he is the proud father of a 30-year-old son, and LaVan loves poetry because poetry chose him. And you can locate his magnificent works. He has 3 books on Amazon and Kindle. So once again, introducing to everybody, LaVan Robinson, Lala the poet.
So you can stop guessing if this is a gift or a written down memo. See, I am a professional. This is not a demo. In fact, call it a lecture, a visual picture, sort of a poetic and rhythm like mixture. Listen, I'm not dissing, but there's something that you're missing. Maybe you should touch reality. Stop wishing for beats with plenty bass and lyrics set in haste. If its meaning doesn't manifest, put it to rest. I am a poet. You try to show it, yet blow it. It takes concentration for fresh communication, observation. That is to see without speaking. Take off your coat, take notes. I am teaching the class around the school.
My name is LaVan Robinson, a.k.a. Lala the Poet. I want to give honor to God for making this happen, and to the other esteemed poetess and poets that's here also to perform, and Black Poet Matters, and also mention Malcolm X, John Lewis, and Mugabe, the honorable brothers that set, the way for us to be here today. So I have 3 pieces. So the first one is called Capitalism. As the machine of subliminal misinformation is interpreted by humanity's attitude of ignorance, lives are traded, misused, and destroyed at one another's expense. Capitalism is in its own, as the foundations of its existence are being questioned and in most cases visibly torn. Among our leaders, it's a free fall for resources that's meant to be shared equally among us all. The cycle seems to be getting worse as for freedom, equality, inclusion, and the pursuit of happiness, certain races hunger for and thirst. The land is becoming uncared for and desolate as taxpayers' dollars or frivolous ambitions are unwisely spent. In the world of capitalism, the mighty dollar must be made, leaving behind souls of innocence where the end result is their lives are gravely paved. Capitalism. The second one is called Hour by Hour. People acting on impulse without any consequences to thoughts. Children born of innocence know no color, only love, but is quickly radicalized from hatred that's being taught. The world is a hotbed of confusion as it dives more and more into discontentment and disillusion. The powers that be, wrapped within their comfort zone of evil and selfishness, find what's going on in the world to be total bliss. It's not rocket science to know what's for the positive advancement of humanity right. Political aspiration cause a bomb to drop and lead many to lose their human insight. The more they pursue materialistic and worldly gain and power, the more they become of their inanimated objects without a conscious or emotional content, hour by hour. Last but not least, meaning. We as humanity has been given a great responsibility. We're the custodian of the earth and everything that's within its realm. It's our home and must be treated with care and respect. The same could be said for our fellow citizens. It provides the basic necessities that we need to fully live. Despite how we treat it, it continues without regard to color to unconditionally give. It is full of mystic, breathtaking, and mesmerizing landscapes and beautiful rivers and seas. The sun in it shines so radiant on both you and I so eloquently. So let's all take the time out to fully appreciate the home that God has bestowed upon humanity. Spread love throughout and to all so life can truly live up to its full meaning. Thank you, and God bless.
Yeah, so once again, give it up for LaVan, a.k.a. Lala the poet. I almost said Lala the prophet. But give it up for him. Y'all can take yourselves off mute and just give him a hand clap. Clap it up for him real quick. So once again, we definitely appreciate it. So everybody out there that is listening, once again, you're now tuned into Black Poet Matters. And that was our first poet of the evening. Once again, LaVan Robinson, a.k.a. Lala the Prophet. And once again, you can just search for his books out there on Amazon and Kindle, so make sure you go support. So at this time, we're going to introduce our next poet for the evening. I almost said prophet again, but I'm going to introduce our next poet. But poets could also be prophets because they inspire people, and as they talk about things that happened in the past, and also get people geared up for what may be happening in the future. So next coming up to the mic is Patricia DeWay, a.k.a. Eyes Awake, who was born in the Emerald Isle of Montserrat in 1976 to a Montserratian mother and Antiguan father. In spite of her arduous journey, she has always had positive aspirations, and after completing secondary school in Montserrat in 1993, Patricia moved to Antigua for college and to London in 1998 for university. And a year before she graduated from university, she launched a non-profit organization called The Way to Fitness to promote health and wellness for young people aged 10 to 25. We might have to increase that age because some of us in our 40s need to get some fitness and health as well. So she's focused on the ages 10 to 25 as a means of raising awareness to encourage and empower young people to live a healthier lifestyle. And you can also subscribe to her YouTube page, where every Sunday she gives you a Sunday series, gives you a poem, gives you some visuals. So once again, introducing Eyes Awake, a.k.a. Patricia DeWay.
Yay!
All pirates, yes, they rob I.
Sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit. But my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs.
Good night everyone. Thank you listeners out there. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate our Black history. Right, I'd like to also acknowledge some of our revolutionists who have paved the way for us today, such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Robert Nesta Marley, and of course Marcus Garvey. And there's so many. My first poem titles tonight, Whose Reality? How important is your life? Have you chosen to live or be a sacrifice? Would you consider your steps on this quest influence? What does it take to be yourself? We were told that the most important factor to learn are the lessons from this life. But how and when do we recognize them without having to live it twice? Sadly, it is one of the most challenging issues faced on life's journey. But if we stop to look around, consequences of these acts can here be found. What is the key to life we seek? To be and act in accordance of? Is it not the renowned gift package as love? For which most has never had the pleasure to experience, nor the desire thereof. Yet, anxiously, it awaits to assume its natural role. But how can we live up to the vast accountability it upholds? From womb to birth, we were mere innocents. So at what stage were we strangers by influence? And on what account have we decided we were different? Perhaps we should ask oneself, how did we get into this predicament? Why and who has decided to subjugate such precious gift by the measure of skin tone? Or has it been concluded that we were not created from the same bone? Who has decided on the rays of inequality, starred in religion, culture, politics, or dare I say socially? Can you see the problems that broods the who's and whys? Need we complain about the way the world is today? Shouldn't we be living as we truly desire? Or is it because we are too afraid to stand up to the empire? Living in the shadows of the who's and whys, contributors or distributors, same difference in pride. We allowed our gift to be damaged and displaced, and our behaviors repellent with much disgrace. Can we find our way back to the noble truth of love and identify ourselves to what it constitutes of? Or are we too embedded in the acts of the who's and whys that we no longer know the recognition of such love to even try? We have allowed this to go on from generation to generation. Another innocent nurtured in this way. Or is it not enough to see how these acts are destroying the world we live in today? Perhaps it's true, but what can we do, you say? I say, embrace sense of self and live as truth intended. Be human, personify love itself. Okay, so that's poem one. Right, thanks. The second poem is called Eyes Awake. Okay. Dawn of a new day, a renewed mind. Let it be you that matters. A paradigm shift, nonetheless. Nestles it wrestles, captivating no doubt. Freedom of the man, liberty for the woman, life for the children. It is now courage to stand tall from generations of derision, infamous authority, annihilating humanity, sabotaging immunity. Civil are you really? But loving are we, forgiving we are daily. Even at death's doors, ooh, that dreaded sound. Stakes are high, rippling tale. The tables are turning. No piety history of your own, only skullduggery, purloining, bestiality acts for place in society. The bearer of supremacy, shamefully stained. All for what? The race for fortune, superiority, and the bad name? Was it worth it? Your time is up. My chosen people, let us rise unified in our resilient nature that's forgiving and loving, remembering our generational revolutionaries and shine in honor thereof. Okay, one more. One more. Okay, this one is called Giving Back. Okay. Self-love has brought me to this place of enlightenment. Even though arduous, it was worth it, as I am a better person for it. We can become lifetime prisoners of our own mind should we let it. To the world, we're nothing special unless we sacrifice our soul. Inevitably, we judge ourselves so harshly, but we ought to learn of our being and speciality. I am aware that I'm an expression of the universe, operating through thoughts and emotions, exemplified by temporary human experiences, not caged by worldly thoughts and actions. I am that I am, energy that transfers, to create an experience for my interpretation, but that of a spiritual purpose and being. Best expressed on the planes of higher consciousness, elevated vibrations, portal love, joy, and peace, the element of enlightenment attained, and originality we all should retain. The year 2020, yes, the era of awakening. Whether you seek it or not, for it you will be faced. So it is your choice to live on one thing. You get in life a reflection of who you are. It is productive to help people explore who they are. Teach a man how to fish, to maintain sustainable growth for a lifetime fish. That's my 3 poems. Thank you for listening.
So once again, just give it up for Patricia DeWay, a.k.a. Eyes Awake.
Awesome, sis.
Yes, queen.
So once again, you can find her every Sunday on her YouTube page. Just look for Eyes Awake. You can check her Sunday series out every morning. So once again, give it up for Patricia DeWay on her set this evening. Once again, we thank everybody for tuning in. Also, we do encourage everybody once again to share the video. To whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on Facebook, just make sure that you share it and let your friends know about this event. We have one more, of course, one more week for Black History Month, so that's going to be, so the finale is going to be next week. So we're going to be talking about more of that as we go along with this evening's program. So once again, we're going to introduce our next poet for the evening at this time. So once again, want to thank everybody for tuning in and make sure that you share it with everyone. So our next poet, he goes by the name of Ryan O'Neal. Now, Ryan is an artist. Now, he's born in Kingston, Jamaica, but he spent roughly half of his childhood living in Toronto, Canada, where he is currently based. And now Ryan aims to create a bridge between reality and fantasy through his work. His personal aesthetic is often dreamy while retaining a foot in realism, and takes heavy cues from the organic styles of expression seen in the art of the Caribbean and European Impressionism. Now, he champions his multicultural experience, and his work takes heavy cues from Caribbean artistic expression, and his art is packed with vivid imagery and a touch of magical realism while exploring contemporary slices of life. In all of his work, Ryan aims to create the world he wants to live in. And I'm going to also post the link because he has a book that we want everybody to go out and there support as well. So once again, going to give it up this time for Ryan O'Neal.
From drown, there's an overnight scheme all worked out.
Good evening. It's my first time on the show, and I've been following since the very beginning, so I'm really excited to be here. And I feel like that spirit right now, COVID's been pretty tough, so putting up a resistance all the same. Tonight, I'm going to read 3 poems from a book that was mentioned. But before that, as we mentioned, it was the birthday of Mugabe, and John Lewis. And a bit closer for me, the anniversary of Malcolm X's assassination. He's my favorite civil rights icon. Reason being is because when I got into his history, it wasn't just about his revolution, but about himself as a man. And he really reminds me that, if we are to follow the examples set by the powers that be and throw away every single Black man and woman who does something wrong in their lives, we miss out on a lot of really good people too. So he really teaches me from that standpoint that perfection can't get in the way of progress, and reminds me that we can't throw away our brothers and sisters because we need them. So that being said, it's Black History Month, and we're talking a lot about it and, Black expression and what it means to you and everybody else. And in doing that, I wanted to talk, as we mentioned before, some of our ancestors that are still here, some that are still gone, who were born today and in the month. And with my first poem, I wanted to touch on the fact that, even though I'm a young boy, I'm a millennial myself, we're not that far away. We share a common history, and, our ancestors are your ancestors too. And we're pretty much the same, even though technology might stand in the way. So this is repetition. We spent our nights parading those same loud places, claiming that youth are elders left carelessly forgotten on the dance floor. This means we mashed our father's toes as we picked up our first rejections. It means we brushed our mother's dresses as we twirled from the bar, sipping ethanol bravery so we would dare to try again. This means that nothing is new, that new hips owe old motions to examples in decades of loveless embrace, and that these melting skins juxtaposed against the cool dark around us, the opal beads adorning our foreheads, ancient tales in the bass that we update with vulgarity so it sounds like the high-pitched wail of Cain giving ways to the machete's final threat. The same whistle we mimic with our tongues, the deep bellowing rivers in our guts that roll with the same vigor as granddaddy spewing seduction from the altar. All of this has been seen before. So we are ordinary. The generation gap is only seen through counting years. And while these lyrics, and while this rhythm, and while the harsh crash of drums is venom to their ears, we find ancestors in these walls. We trace our past through the cracks in the concrete. We find ourselves by the bar. We find our sex on the dance floor. We lose our faith in the flashing lights, find church in loudspeakers on Friday nights, and find our reasons to repent on Sunday, just like they did. So my next poem is one of my favorites to read. I've read it a couple of times in Toronto and all around, and I really just get a vibe, more than even the audience sometimes. But it's something that means a lot to me. So I did grow up in the Caribbean. I went to high school in Jamaica, and we had to wear school uniforms. And I didn't have the suede bank robber Clarks like a lot of my friends. I just had some hard leather shoes. But the one thing about your shoes is that they always had to be clean. Uniform had to be tidy and the shoes had to be clean, and mine always had to be shiny. So that's where this one comes from, but also because I wanted to make fun of this trend that we have in language where black is a bad word. So this is the shining. Grab that left shoe, put it over your hand, and make your fingers span as you make this boot a glove. Then polish, then water, then brush hard. Brush hard like daddy's lashes if you don't do it right. Apply polish heavy like how we stain boys' skins when they fall asleep first at camp. Brush with vigor and shine it. Brand the boot with brush until you make it into a mirror. Make it shine like soldiers' shoes before war, before mud and dirt, before lunchtime sprint, before cricket pitch and ball game at break, before morning devotion and teacher checking uniform. Make the shoe shine black till it radiates. Make it reflect jealousy from the sun. Burn the shoe black with polish, black like ancestors, black like great-great-grandma's slave skin, black like old machete after cutting coconut husk and banana stain, stubborn bamboo, sweet cane. Swipe like the cutlass scything grass, rock like dancehall on a Friday night when black rum hits hard, step uneasy like when the music hits, but don't stop brushing till it glistens, black like sin. Like Sunday morning's best suit and black Bible laws you broke in the like the slice of black cake you stole, like Kim's black dress and clandestine thoughts, black like damnation spilling unchained and evil from the preacher's mouth. Black like the sweat on the back of Master's prize stallion, black like Sam Sharp's armor, black like revolution fires, black smoke and heat. Brush until you can see yourself in this boot and the next, and brush until you're ready to show yourself pre in that school. Brush until you forget about detention and algebra, history, geometry, geography. Don't forget poetry. And black cola with lunch and white chalk on black boards like the dust on your shoes at the end of the day. Brush until you forget about the school cage and until the shine of your shoes can mask how crushed your shirt is, how your tie is crooked, and how you couldn't give a damn about the bag, the belt, or this khaki sauna, but show you take pride in these shoes and they're brilliant, blazing, black. And finally, it's still February. Valentine's Day is just a week away, so just missed it. And it's COVID, so we're missing out on a lot of the romance and going out with people. And I particularly miss having those nights out and dancing till I'm sweaty. So finally, this is Dance With Me. Bless me with the supernatural of your perfume, the taste of the chemical cocktail dripping dopamine in our sweat, the feeling of rum flowing under our skin, sacred drums, and your black dress. Let's explore the powers of our bodies moving together. Let's devise new theories on how electricity travels through flesh and ask questions of physics like, could we be lightning? Let's study the way rivers curl around mountains so we can move our waste in similar circles, becoming water. Let's learn from the monsoons how to make these footsteps thunder. Let's warn those around us of the rains coming to nourish dry lands. Let's signal the end of our drought. Let's remind ourselves how sweet love feels, dripping hibiscus nectar when our bodies mesh. Let's dance. Let me spin that dress a hurricane, rock so and dip so, and remember, we are electric. We power the city with our actions, and if we stop them, all the meat in the freezer will thaw before morning to punish our debauchery. Let's dance for those who blaspheme our youth because they forgot the instructions for how to move like this. Imagine the color and shape if our emotions were translated to fantasy. Red streaks down indigo streets, working in vain to heat a cold night, reveling in our friction and the wild running Mustangs in our chests, the shortened respiration and the extra mouthfuls of moonlight we drink to keep us moving. Pretend that if we break, the earth will move its love for the sun and stop spinning. Let's move our limbs until we're too tired to stand, and let's review what we have learned. Sweet wine doesn't only come in a bottle. Sin isn't only reserved for nakedness. Freedom comes from these configurations of bones, and there's fire in your thighs, so avoid gasoline. People, that has been so much fun for me. It's been long overdue. I hope you had fun too, and that's all from me. Good night.
Yes. Once again, give it up for Mr. Ryan O'Neal.
Fire, King, fire.
All right.
And make sure you check out his book, Ritual and Ruin. I'll put the link out there in the chat. So make sure you check out that book from Ryan O'Neal where you can read more of what he just performed. So once again, we have an international cast once again that you see. Ryan is up there in Toronto. Osagyefo is down there in Antigua. So we're gonna bring it back to the U.S. at this time, and we're gonna introduce our final poll for the evening. But once again, do remember that we do this every week for Black History Month. But next month, for the month of March, we're gonna go back to our monthly virtual schedule. And for the month of March, being that it's Women's History Month, we're gonna have an all-female cast for Black Poet Matters next month. So get ready for that. But once again, to remember, we do have one more week for our Black History Month special for Black Poet Matters. So once again, we're taking it worldwide. So this time we're gonna introduce our final poet of the night. And once again, do stay tuned for the cipher. We're gonna get a one line from each poet after Latisha performs. So we as we do for the end of every session, we have that cipher for everybody. So Miss Yvonne is a poet born and raised in Brooklyn. Her passion for writing and her voice on the stage makes her larger than life. She has performed in numerous places: the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, Bush Baby, the African Poetry Theater, HBO, the Apollo Theater, BET, and has also been featured on many radio stations. And this Black Wax recording artist brings love, life, culture, and song into every word of her poetry. So once again, introducing to you Miss Yvonne.
Life. I wonder, will it take me under? I don't know. Imagine smoking weed in the street without cops harassing. Imagine going to court with no trial. Lifestyle cruising blue Bahama waters. No welfare supporters. More conscious of the way we raise our daughters. Days are shorter, nights are colder. Feeling like life is over. These snakes strike like a cobra. The world's hot, my son got knocked. Evidently, it's elementary. They want us all gone eventually. Trooping out of state for a plate. Knowledge, if coke was cooked without the garbage, we'd all have the top dollars. Imagine everybody flashing. Fashion, designer clothes. Lacing your click up with diamond rolls. Your people's holding dough, no parole, no rubbers. Going raw, imagine law with no undercovers. Just some thoughts for the mind. I take a glimpse into time, watch the blimp read the world is mine.
If I rule the world,
imagine that.
I free all my sons.
Good night, everyone. I want to say peace to all the poets. I just wanted to kind of show my shirt because I have a picture of Malcolm X here and many other ancestors that came before us. It's a pleasure to be here tonight with my mom, Mama Bongo, who's going to bless us with the drums as I do my poetry, and she will also be doing a set after me. So tonight, I just want to honor John Lewis since today is his birthday. And I also will be doing some poetry that kind of reflects some of the thoughts and maybe some of the feelings of Malcolm X as well, since today is the anniversary of his assassination. So I hope you guys enjoy. we are, 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 we are superstars, yeah, superstars. Say we are, 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 we are superstars, yeah, superstars. We are the Black poets. I have more lines than Webster's and Oxford. Still, I'm looking to write my next book. I have poems galore, so come take a look. I lay down lines like carpets and fly like Aladdin. Yeah, I got the magic. If they thought it was static, electricity, that makes my words automatic. When I was little, they said I should sit in a corner and be quiet. But then I took out my pen and I started a riot. I wrote change, gave birth to ideas, making sense out of this craziness that's been going on for years. Yeah, we matter. Look how much power we have when we decide together. Causing mental explosion until negativity scatter. Yeah, we're here and our poetry matters. When I was a kid, they tried to bully me, but I said to my aggressors, don't take me literally. You might catch these similes because it's popping like toast. Some ran away because they thought it was a ghost. Nothing worth having is served on a platter. I got words on this menu because Black poetry matters. I'm serving similes. I'm serving sizzling similes, melting mounds of metaphors. My words are off the meter, but who's keeping score? I'm going to explore knowledge and wisdom till ignorance scatter. Someone needs to tell people that Black poetry matters. Someone needs to talk about Black poetry matters. We need to discuss Black poet matters. What goes around comes around. That is a fact. We're gonna come and take it all back. I want back my kings that you turned into fools. I want back my queens and all of their tools. I want back my sanity. I want back my health. But what's more important? My knowledge of self. I want back the truth instead of your lies. I want to give back to the devil who covers my third eye. See, I don't want to rely on your religion because my ancestors were forced to make that decision. Every day you fool them with your trick knowledge. Pat them on the head when they've gone to college. While you out there playing games and coming up with tricks, you're probably thinking about, what makes the Black man tick, tick, tick? What you're dealing with is originality. You know the truth behind your fallacy. I guess that's what really scares me, maybe. The idea of what you can do to my baby. You think you were scared of Malcolm X? But that's scared to what's coming next. We got the X and the double X. These kids will bring you to a halt. They're gonna rise up and revolt. You played yourself, because we're coming back for all of our wealth. What goes around comes around. That is a fact. We're gonna come and take it all back. We're gonna come and make it all black. Take it all back. Make it all black. Back, black, back, black, back, black. I check. I'm talking about a slavery, a powerful kind. I'm being enslaved in my own mind. After all these years, I thought I could behave until I realized that I'm still enslaved. I should loosen my shackles, break free from my chains, wash your filthy teachings out of my brains, straighten my hair, Musa, so I look just like you. Buy contact lenses so my eyes be blue. Buy your clothes, Musa, and Musa, buy your get your ass, Musa, when I step in. Listen to your music, Musa, Musa, watch for all your wicked teachings in my mind stays. Go to church with you and learn about your Lord. But Massa, there's a price I cannot afford. Massa did me wrong. How could I be so blind? It's real messed up being a slave of my own mind. Thank you. So this next piece is called Why Do You Rush Me? Because Black history is really 365 days a year. We all know that. It can't be marginalized and just limited to a day, a few minutes, when something goes wrong, when we have a special movie out. Black history is happening right now. We are making history as we sit here together. So this next piece is called Why Do You Rush Me? Why do you rush me? I've been here from eternity to eternity, done many things beyond belief. So why do you rush me? I've made universes into universities, made sand from the sand. I am the red and the roses, building pyramids and sphinxes. They knocked off the noses. I predated slavery, was royalty in antiquity. So why do you rush me? I spit rivers and cough up mountains in only one line. I said, let there be light, and I saw a star shine in the dark of the night. I fought the freedom fight, fought for civil rights, walked on the moon, and put rings around Saturn and sang tunes on Neptune. You can't contain me, rename me, restrain me, confine me, define me, or undermine me. I free slaves from cage and show them how to behave. G. Woodson gave our history honorable mention. But 28 days, I think we need an extension. 28 days is a mockery. 28 days doesn't build many civilizations. 28 days doesn't mother many nations. 28 days, are you dissing me? Then you rewrite my history. Burn down our libraries, take the knowledge and credit, and then my history you edit. Why do you rush me? I played Obamas in the Bahamas, Tiger Woods in the woods. I made basketball into knowledge till you wear it, basketball into magic till you wear it on your feet. I saw carver carve peanuts into peanut butter. Malcolm X spoke by any means. There were also kings like Marcus, Medgar, and Martin. Let's not forget our queens, Sheba, Isis, Nefertiti. And I'm just getting started. Of African achievement, there's a whole entourage. So let's read about it. Let's put it in a collage. Harriet showed me how to go underground to around the town. Human rights, integrity, social responsibility. I make history each second until it becomes minutes. So why do you rush me? Ashe.
Yes. So once again,
awesome, sis.
Give it up for Miss Divine. So once again, we thank everybody for tuning in this evening. So get ready for the cipher, because we're gonna have a cipher for all of the poets that performed this night. We're gonna get one line each, and that's what we do at the conclusion of every session. Was started by Osagyefo, and basically it was something that we decided to introduce. So once again, Black Poet Matters is a monthly virtual event. Once again, it takes place every month for Black History Month. We decided to do it weekly. We have 20 plus poets basically in the complete cipher. So, for any given month, we have at least 8 poets that perform at a time. And we try to keep that balance of male and female. So, once again, at this time, we're going to go through the cipher at this time. We're going to get one line from each poet that performed this evening. And we're going to start with Mr. LaVan, a.k.a. Lala the poet.
I can deal with props. In search of love, I'll go out on a limb.
Next up, we got Eyes Awake.
Can't hear you.
You gotta unmute yourself. There you
go. Sorry. Our melanin is our crown jewels. Very well.
Next up, we got Mr. Ryan O'Neal.
Burn the shoe black with polish, black like ancestors, black like great-great-grandma slave skin, black like old machete after cutting hawk on a husk and banana stain, stubborn bamboo, sweet cane.
And finally, we have Mr. Vine.
You have not seen what I have seen. Black queen, serene, goddess. Can you find me in my blackness? Triple X complex being.
So once again, we thank all of you out there listening. So we thank all the poets for performing this evening, and we're gonna get, as it was just mentioned, Mr. Vine's mother, who was playing the drums in the background for her set. We're gonna end out the show with a session from her. So introduce your mother at this time. Well, actually, let me just let everybody know the lineup for next week. We're gonna have Miss Seven Sojourner Flowers, who I saw out there in the chat. We also have Ras Yaya, we have Nzinga, we have Ngoma Hill. So those will be the performers for next month. And then once again, when we start over with our monthly sessions in March, it will be an all-female cast in honor of Women's History Month. So once again, just make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for Bassment Entertainment, as well as like our page on Facebook. So once again, as we close out, we try to close out always with music. So we have a musical tribute this time from, introduce her.
Okay, yes. So it was with great pleasure that I introduce a woman who is responsible for part of Black history, part me coming into the world, and she's such a wonderful person. I love her so much. She does so much, and she's amazing on the drums. She played for Kool and the Gang and plenty places back in the day, and even today she's just wonderful. With no further ado, I present to everyone, Mama Bongo, my mother. How's everybody? Everybody good? All right, so we're gonna hear from Mama Bongo now.
Yes, yes, yes. So once again, give it up for Mama Bongo. So once again, we thank everybody out there that tuned in this evening. So once again, this was another session of the Black Poet Matters. So once again, we thank everybody for tuning in, and make sure that you tune in next week. Once again, we do encourage everybody to subscribe to the Bassment Entertainment channel on YouTube, as well as like the Bassment Entertainment page on Facebook. So once again, big to everybody. And once again, tune in next week, Sunday, February 28th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, once again, for our grand finale for Black History Month. So once again, thank everybody for tuning in, and we're gonna close it out. We were talking all about blackness, all about blackness, all about blackness this evening from all the poets. So once again, give it up for all of them once again. Just tune in for next time, saying God bless.
Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. We want black power. 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 That's right. That's what we want. Black power. We don't have to be ashamed of it.
This is not a regular. This is that boom, blah, blah, blah. Some they call it secular. I just call it black, black, black. Marcus Garvey, Bookman, Dottie, bring that army. Black, black, black. Malcolm X and Kwame Ture. This is where I'm at. If you wanna talk to me about black, black, black. Haile Selassie the first. Negus Nagas, let's talk about that. Kaboom, Yanni Maroon and all the Maroons. Let's talk about that. The real Underground Railroad. The first subway for black, black, black. The freedom train begins with your brain. Get in on track. Whether justice or injustice, how do you react? Can you stand there laughing while they shoot us in the black? This is what some rappers sound like every time they rap. I'm raising up the red and the green and the black. Even with no cops in the hood, we still hear click, clack. I cannot forget my ancestors just because I rap. Look at me from top to bottom. KRS is black. Get out, speak out, reach out. This is what black about. Get up, get out, speak out, reach out. This is what I rap about. Get up, get out, speak out, reach out. Too many selling out. Get up, get out, reach out, lift out, get out. Time to ask the question now. Are you really black? It is not a mystery. We under attack. If you're chatting for free, you whole our people black. Time to put aside the fantasy and deal with fact. This is not the time to be talking all that crap. Those that talk that crap, or those that don't fight back. You can say what you like for real skill. I never lack. Black is more a consciousness, the way you think and act. Yo, get up, get out, speak out, reach out. This is what black about. Get up, get out, speak out, reach out. This is what I rap about. Get up, get out, speak out, reach out. Too many selling out. Get up, get out, reach out, lift out, get out, lights out.
We have stayed here and we begged the president. We begged the federal government. That's all we've been doing, begging. It's time we stand up and take over. We have to do what every group in this country did. We got to take over the communities where we outnumber people so we can have decent jobs, so we can have decent houses, so we can have decent roads, so we can have decent schools, so we can have decent justice.